Okay, excited to talk about this hot topic. This is gonna trigger some of us old school loan officers that were like, we love to cold call. We're afraid to change. We don't want to do anything different. We're just gonna hang on for dear life to our old school tactics. So this might spark up some debate. So today we're gonna be talking about to cold call or to do social media video as a mortgage loan originator. I'm going to start with cold calling. So is cold calling dead in 2025? Is social media just a fad for loan officers? Something that it's going to be here for the next year or two and all of a sudden it's going to be back to the old school. So I'm going to talk to you about the pros and cons of cold calling and the pros and cons of using digital marketing and social media. And we're going to give you the opportunity for you to decide what works for you the best. And I have a pretty good idea of what I can convince you about by the end of this. So, number one. So here's the thing. In comparing cold calling to the modern day social media tactics, there's ways to generate leads doing both. The issue is, and I'm going to get into cold calling first. The issue is that it creates a lot of burnout. So the issue is that it creates a lot of burnout when you're cold calling. There's definitely pluses to it, but there's only so much time in a day. I want you to picture your day as a loan officer. I say loan officer, so I've been in the business since I was 18, so we were loan officers. There was no MLOs, and there was DRE license, no NMLS, and all that. But anyway, picture your day like this. So, like my Valentine's nails. So, your day, what are you going to fill up your day with in order to be productive, in order to lead gen, in order to close more loans? So it's up to you what you want to fill up your workday with. Now, the thing is with cold calling is that you end up having to burn out. There's only so many calls that you can make in a day. And when you go into feast or famine months, a lot of the time it's because you called, and you got the leads in. And now you're sitting on them like little mother hen and you're just waiting for them to hatch and close. And then you got to go burn up the phone lines again. And that feast or famine months really takes us from lack to abundant, like back and forth. And most of us have the ability to live abundantly and nurture leads while we sleep and do all that good stuff. But a lot of us end up doing it the old school way because it's all that we're familiar with. So here's some pros of cold calling. So some of the pros is immediate conversations and real-time responses. You can hook someone's attention really, really quick and get them to have this back and forth dialogue. They can't scroll past you like social media. You can build direct relationships. You can sharpen your sales skills. Now, I listened to Psychology of Selling by Brian Tracy. It's an amazing book. Highly recommend that you listen to that, or I listen to Audible, so I highly recommend it. The issue with the stuff that he teaches is it is archaic. It's a dinosaur approach. So when he's saying, you should set the appointment and then you reconfirm the appointment, and if you know that it's a heavy hitter, then you show up at 7:30 at their office instead of 9 o'clock and you get them before they start their busy day and all this stuff. Heck yeah, in the 70s, 80s, 90s, of course that's going to work. But there's a better way. That's the social media side. So we're going to talk about that later. But driving around or just picking up the phone, anything works if you go all in and you sharpen your skills at it. So that book, if you love to cold call, and it's not even about always being a cold caller. Sometimes it's a warm call, somebody you're following up with, somebody you met at an open house, you met at a crab feed, at a holiday party, and you are calling. So it's not necessarily cold calling, it's just you're warm calling, somebody that you kind of know, but you're making those phone calls and you're trying to book a lunch or a happy hour or generate some leads from it. So you do have the opportunity to build direct relationships and sharpen your sales skills when you do it Brian Tracy's way, so the old school way. So generating quick leads, if it's done consistently, I want you to write this down. Consistency is currency. If you are consistent at calling the same select group of people for months, of course it's going to be profitable at some point. When you come through, when other loan officers aren't, somebody's going to end up saying yes to you and meeting you for coffee and appreciating your persistence and your consistency, right? Your follow-up skills. So all good, right? The cons of it is, and this happened to me, high rejection rates and emotionally draining. I didn't know psychology of selling. I just was doing what I thought I was supposed to be doing, and I would sit in my car before I'd walk into the office, and I would call my real estate agents. Don't you love how some of us are like, that's my realtor? No, that's my realtor. So they're not property, right? They're human beings that you want to serve, and you don't want to be chasing them and begging for deals, by the way. So if you were to be like me, where I knew that I was supposed to be doing the cold calling, but you know what? I wasn't very good at it. I'm a people pleaser by nature. The second I would hear somebody sound busy, I would basically go into like full on people pleaser mode. Like, sorry, I know you're busy. Oh, I'm sorry. Just won't take up all your time. And I would start like apologizing for calling them. I didn't know like speaking with authority, speaking like giving value, going all in and doing things like my sales skills needed to align with like the end result that I wanted. And I didn't have an aligned, it wasn't falling within my core values of wanting to do the cold call in the first place. I'm like, I feel like this is just begging, but also my tone and my voice wasn't aligning with the end result that I wanted. So what it was doing was like really emotionally draining me. And I want you to hear this. I've always been a top loan officer, always been at the leaderboard, no matter where I went, what company, I always outproduced like 95% of the loan officers that I worked with. And I had trouble cold calling. I didn't want that fear of rejection. And also, again, every time I would hear like the phone kind of jiggle around, or they would say, who's this again? What, you're a loan officer? Tiffany, who? I immediately went into like panic mode. So anything works if you go all in, but you got to decide if you're ready to handle it, if you can face that fear of rejection, because real estate agents, I don't care how good you are as a loan officer, real estate agents are tired of getting the cold calls. So compliance issues, like there's do not call lists, and there's other kinds of things that you have to, worry about or avoid. And it takes up a ton of time. So again, if you're going to be cold calling, the end goal needs to be getting in front of them, Zoom appointment, coffee appointment, something. But again, you can only do it one-to-one marketing because you're calling one person and you're taking up that 5, 10, 15 minutes if you're lucky enough to keep them on the phone that long. And then you're booking a coffee, and then you're hoping they don't cancel, and then you're hoping they reactively give you a referral. And the list goes on of all the pitfalls that can happen in that process. So that's the cold calling side of it. Now, social media, pros and cons. Pros, gotta talk about the pros first for sure on social media, because this is what I love. So massive reach with minimal costs. People have their phone in their hands and they touch it about 2,671 times for a low-end user, over 5,000 times for a heavy user of the cell phone. You already paid for the bill. People are scrolling, they're on it, they're waiting for you to pop up in their feed and give them service-based information, not sell them, not screen buy my thing. So I'll get into that in just a minute here, but you are actually solving a problem for them. Whether you're cold calling or you're doing social media, it's gotta be value-driven, where you're serving and you're not saying, let's have coffee so I can get leads, or watch my videos so you can keep me in mind as a loan officer, or visit my website, call me with your mortgage needs. I mean, the vocabulary needs to be service-driven and value-driven, and you need to be providing some kind of edutainment, education, entertainment, or education when you're doing it, no matter if it's cold calling or social media. But the cool thing is you can, with one conversation, one 60-second video, you can reach 2,000 people. If you run Facebook ads, you can reach millions of people. Whereas cold calling, it's one person, one coffee, one hope that they give you one referral. It's just this one-to-one mindset that you're stuck in with cold calling. But again, if it's your jam and you love it, great. But social media, massive reach, minimal cost. It builds brand awareness and trust over time. There's something called winning before you arrive, meaning when they continue to see you showing up in social media over and over again, you're continuing to grow on them. They're starting to look at you and go, wow, that was like such good information. I thought I needed 20% down to buy a house. It turns out I don't. I thought I needed perfect credit. That's amazing that I don't need that. I thought I'd call a realtor first. I don't need to do that. You can get your message out to thousands, if not millions of people. I certainly have reached millions of people with my Facebook ad, paying for speed, paying for attention. And it's building that trust and brand awareness. Remember, my mentor, she used to say, you gotta date people before you hop in the sack with them, or ask them to hop in the sack at least. So you're getting to know them. You're winning before you arrive. So now people are seeing you all over their feed. So when they hear your name, or when a real estate agent says, hey, you really got to call Susie at XYZ Mortgage, Susie was already popping up in that future client's feed over and over again, where they're like, oh my God, I know that name. They've helped me so much, right? So you're building that parasocial relationship with somebody before you even get the opportunity to take a loan app with them. So this is a huge one, working 24/7, generating leads while you sleep. I can be in Disneyland, and you can tell which side I'm picking on the cold calling versus the social media side, but I can be in Disneyland and my webinar is getting filled up with hundreds of people opting in, thousands of people opting in, and they're gonna show up and I'm gonna teach 1 hour in an event, 1 hour, or if like my 3-day event is 10 to 15 hours. And I am at Disneyland with my family and that event's filling up. And while I'm sleeping, people are tapping on my videos or seeing my content. Now I have something called like omnipresent ads, where if somebody clicks on an event, they're getting 7 pieces of content over the next 7 to 10 days of me just giving them massive value. All of this is happening while I'm at Disneyland, while I'm sleeping, while I'm in another event. My ads are going, and my organic posts are going, right? So this is working for me 24/7, nurturing the people that I love, building a parasocial relationship where I've given them so much value. I can't tell you how many people have been like, Tiff, I've listened to your podcast all the time. And I'm like, God, I got to stay consistent on that, because I'm thinking, my limiting belief was like, I'm just doing this podcast, nobody's listening. Over time, I started to realize how many people, they're like, I love your podcast, Mortgage and Mindset, in minutes, by the way. So it's on Apple, it's on all the different platforms. So go make sure you listen to it. I'm going to plug myself there. So Mortgage and Mindset, people are like, you've helped me so much. And you just cracked me up when you said blah, blah, blah on the podcast. And I'm like, oh my gosh, people are actually listening. This is all happening. My voice, my ability to communicate, I've strengthened that ability to communicate, and now I'm reaching the masses when I don't even know it. When I'm in an event or sleeping or on vacation, right? I could be laying on a beach somewhere and my event is filling up. I'm teaching 1 hour to 200 people instead of 200 different people on 200 hours on coffee appointments or break breads or happy hours. That is so time consuming. That's why you're going into feast or famine months, if you're even doing it at all. So before I get back into the cold calling side of things, the cons of social media is you have to know a little bit of technology. You kind of have to know how these things work. Cold calling, you're just picking up the phone, you're writing down some phone numbers, and you're just going for it. You're going to go have coffee and kind of shoot the breeze with them. It requires to do a video, like what's the difference between a hard post or a reel? Or how do I share it to my story? How many times can I post on my story? What hashtags do I use? How do I run Facebook ads? I gotta hire a virtual assistant to help me with my Facebook ads, or my CRM, or in emails, or how do I load a video into my CRM? I'm not sure how that feature works on my CRM that my company uses, or the one that you've chosen. So it does require a little bit of consistency, learning these things and applying it as well. Both sides require consistency, but you've got to take a little bit longer to get to know the social media side, because that technology may not be second nature to you yet. Remember, it's like driving a car. It's only hard at first until it's easy. It is slower to build rapport compared to the direct calls, whether it's a warm call or a cold call. So you might have to cold call somebody 8 times, and think about all the hours that takes for you to actually get up the nerve to call that person again. But on social media, you're dating people before you're asking them to hop in the sack. So don't you love that? I love that saying. Thank you, Krista. So slower to build rapport compared to direct calls. Algorithms can limit organic reach, But that's why, here's the thing. I don't even like these cons, right? But I had to call them out in case it's something that you're thinking. So think about if organically only your dog and your mom is seeing your video, then you pay for speed, you pay for attention. I can take any of my organic videos. Let's say I got 1,000 plays instead of 100 plays, or got 56 likes instead of 10 likes. I know that the algorithm likes it and my audience likes it. So all I'm gonna do is take that, have my virtual assistant upload it to my Facebook ads account, and pay for speed, pay for attention. Put that video on $2 a day or $5 a day, and now thousands of people, like 27,000 people in a day, can see my video off like $5, right? So to me, there's no downside to social media. It does require you showing up consistently, harnessing a little technology, maybe paying for speed, paying for attention if the organic isn't giving you enough reach, or if you're technically challenged with, hashtags and all that stuff, then you hire it out. And it does require you showing up, and a lot of people are terrified of video. I'm gonna give you this tip about social media. If you feel like you're afraid to show up on video because you're afraid of judgment, I guarantee you there's only about 3 to 5 people. When you take a moment right now to think about, who are you really afraid of seeing your stuff? Why are you holding back on video? Guarantee it's 3 to 5 people at most. The best public speakers in the world said that when they started speaking on stage, if they imagined a room of strangers, it was like, okay, it's on. Like maybe I'm a little bit nervous, but overall, I'm ready. If you picture all your ex-boyfriends or ex-girlfriends and the bully from high school and your competitors and everybody that your branch manager sitting in the front row staring at you, you're gonna shit your pants. You're gonna be like, I'm not doing this because I know these people, they're gonna judge me. So I want you to identify, as I'm speaking now, those 3 to 5 people that you're afraid to show up for yourself because you're afraid of maybe what they think. For one of my students said, Tiff, I am deathly afraid of video because I know, we'll call her Susie, I know that Joanne is gonna judge me. I'm like, you're worried about Joanne from your high school that might be judging you, that doesn't even do video herself? Are you kidding me, Susie? Like what? You're letting that person block your income from flowing, from closing more loans, from showing up there and serving people that need to hear your message. Trust me, I got some fire scripts that I give my students that it's value driven. It's service and it's not selling. It's not begging for business. It's attraction-based marketing, whatever you want to do. But that one person was stopping her forever. Like I want to say that this went on for like over a year of her knowing she needed to do video, but she was worried about what we'll call her Joanne was going to think. So I had to break her of that. So here's kind of like a hybrid strategy that you can use. So when you build out your list, which I teach my students in Ignite to do, which by the way, make sure you book a call, get on with my team. If you're driving at 100 miles an hour with no destination, or you're like kind of drifting into the other lane, you're about to get in a head-on collision in your business, you've got to get guidance, accountability, and support. That's the gas. The goals, planning, systems, and strategy is a GPS. If you don't have a GPS that's tight and right, and the gas, the guidance, accountability, and support, you're just driving all over the place 100 miles an hour, or you're slowly driving along and you're drifting into the other lane. So I'm going to give you opportunity to book a call with my team. Make sure you find it in the description or link in the bio or wherever you're listening or watching this on. So a great hybrid strategy is, let's say you have your list that I teach my students in Ignite to build out, and you don't want to cold call them. You send them a video text message, right? That's something that you can do to be memorable, to collapse time, and to build up that muscle of doing video, talking off the cuff. Like I could go A to Z, and anybody in my phone, oh, okay, so Mr. Joe that I did a loan for, hey Joe, it's Tiffany. Oh my gosh, congratulations to you for making the smart decision to buy a house when you did. That's why you have that awesome 2-something%. I want to help more people like you. So please definitely forward this along to the people that had analysis paralysis. They thought they missed the boat, and let them know that they didn't, because even in this market, I'm helping dozens of people make the payment affordable, helping them pull together more money for down payment gift funds. So please do forward this video along. I'm also forwarding my calendar link. Most importantly, congrats to you. That's why money likes speed. You made a smart decision, and I hope you're doing well. Okay? You can do that. Send it to whoever you were going to cold call. Send it to a real estate agent about, hey, you might have some clients that feel like they missed out in 2020, 2021. I've got news for them. So please do forward along this video. 1, 2, 3, you're solving problems, you're serving with information. That's a great way to send a video text, or do it through social media, do it through Facebook. You can easily just tap on the little video, do a voice text, right? Video works way more effectively, but you can do that through social media instead of going and finding their phone number or stopping by an open house if they're trying to concentrate on the potential buyers of it, or holding broker opens and trying to concentrate on getting the house sold. Send them a video text instead of stopping by or cold calling. It's going to collapse time for you like no other. It's going to make you memorable. And that video I just rattled off, it's going to help your brain get acclimated to just talking off the cuff. I just made up that script. I didn't read it off a teleprompter. I just started doing it because my brain now, it's wired to be able to just talk off the cuff without a script, without a teleprompter that I'm reading. So video text messages, whether it's through your phone or through social media saying happy birthday to somebody, way more effective. And it's still kind of like a cold call, but you're doing it on video. So here's what happens when you kind of use this hybrid strategy, which I'm about it. If that's you feel like this option's your jam, then awesome. So here's the great thing about it. It takes away the energy of when you say, hi, is this Joe the realtor? And they're like, what? Yeah, what? Who are you, Tiffany? And you're like, like my people pleasing's like going on high alert right now. When you send a video, they're watching it when they're calm, they're in their car, they're waiting for, like their kids to get out of basketball practice. They're like, oh, what's this video? Okay, cool. You're catching them at a time when they're at peace. You're not feeling their energy because they're not responding. It's a video that you're sending. They're watching it on the other time, on their own time. The cool thing about this is that they have to listen when they're watching a video. It's not like they can brush you off or they're trying to get off the phone. It takes away that defensiveness of like, oh my God, I'm so busy. Why are you calling me? They're going to be a lot less annoyed. And this is like one of the coolest things about video text messages or any kind of social media is you are connecting with them and showing up as the authority. You can speak with confidence and not feel like their energy, and just drive the point home. However you're serving, however you're getting that message across, you're not going to get interrupted. And you're showing up as the authority, as the brain surgeon, because the way I teach you is service-based, not selling. Now, always, if you're doing cold calling or some kind of warm calls, you're basically chasing for a coffee appointment, you got to be value driven, but it's going to remove that energy and it's going to make you show up as the authority because you can speak a certain way. You can do it when you are, dressed up and ready or in your car or whatever. People really just respect the authenticity. They don't care about you being like looking perfect or sounding perfect on video. They'd rather have that than a cold call. But it's so unbelievably powerful. And the fact that it collapses time when you're doing kind of this hybrid method is huge. It's like the best of both worlds. What you'll also see happening when you're doing the social media side, when you're doing videos and not cold calling, people will look to you and go, kudos to you for doing that video. I am so terrified of video and you just sent me that. You did a great job. Like, I know I need to get on video. And they'll start looking at you like, oh my gosh, this person's the authority because they're doing that thing that I know I should be doing and they're killing it, right? So that's a huge side effect of getting leads and getting props from people who otherwise would more feel like you're a nuisance to them if you did it the cold calling method. So here's kind of some daily step-by-step action plans as I'm selling you onto the social media side of things. So spend 30 minutes engaging with potential clients on social media, commenting on their stuff, sending them a video in their DMs, sliding into their DMs, congratulating them on a vacation, a birthday, a listing, one of your rock star, future friend real estate agents gets a new listing, and you're actually spending time commenting. This is called you being a producer of social media and not a consumer. So I want you to write this down. I am no longer a consumer of social media. I'm only a producer. You're a producer if you're going on to people that are on your list of people you would normally cold call, and you're hyping them up. You're commenting on their social media. That is a great way to connect with them and start building rapport. And people love when you comment on their stuff. Think about your social media. You post a video and you're like, got 20 likes and no comments. You don't even tap on sometimes. I used to be like this. I didn't even look at who hearted it. I was looking for the comments. So think about how that makes that person feel, that listing agent, that CPA, that financial advisor, divorce attorney, whoever it is, that client, that lead that you got, that past client, whatever, current client. When you're commenting on their social media instead of just tapping it, hearting it, or passing right by. I just recently went to a funeral for my mentor, Jerry Anderson, who was such a godsend in my life, and it was so sad. He was almost 90, so he lived a long, amazing, beautiful life, but it's still sad to see anybody go, especially somebody that impacted my life so much. What was crazy is there was a lot of loan officers there, and they're all saying to me, Tiff, oh my God, you're popping up in my feed everywhere. Oh my God, it looks like you're killing it. I have never seen them comment one single thing. So you have the upper hand right now of commenting on your real estate agent's open house, your past clients, your lead that you got, and hyping them up and making them feel important by commenting instead of hiding out in the bushes and they have no clue that you're watching their stuff and you're not just hearting it. You're taking the extra step. So that's a great way to build rapport on social media that you can't do when you're smiling and dialing. DMing people like, I appreciate the follow, and giving them some sort of lead magnet, like top 10 do's and don'ts when you're applying for a home loan. Weekly routine examples like host a live Q&A or webinar to showcase your expertise. Reach out to real estate agents and referral partners, both by social media, but by phone first, and maybe or video text. Hey, do you want to hop on Zoom for 15, 30 minutes? And let's figure out some topics that we can share with our community and help them. Because I'm seeing this problem, I got this win. Instead of having that coffee appointment, offer a 15-minute Zoom and see if they would be willing to do a joint collaboration with you online. Do some kind of Instagram Live or Facebook Live. You're going to reach their audience, your audience. It's called OPA, other people's audiences. You got to be down with OPA. So joint collaborate with them. That's how you're going to get more eyes on your brand that wouldn't otherwise have known that you were a loan officer, and more real estate, the agent, they're going to get all your people on their brands, and it's a win-win. So I want you to start thinking outside of the box when you're thinking about cold calling, one-to-one marketing, social media, one-to-many marketing. What do you think is going to reach more people easier, fastest? It's going to be social media. I wouldn't be where I was at in 2017, 18, 19. I was running Facebook ads as a top producing loan officer. I never chased a real estate agent. I never had a coffee. I would say the last time I had a coffee with a real estate agent was probably when I was at Stearns Lending, maybe 2014 or 15, because I was in a coaching program that was kind of like the only option. I didn't even know about Facebook ads at that point. But once I learned that, that's all I did. I never had to chase again, and I got better and better and better at it. So know that nothing happens overnight. Nothing happens overnight. Building up the skill to cold call and chase, or building up the skill and the organization to be consistent on social media. You could pay me. Let's say you paid Michael Jordan to learn basketball, and he's coaching you. You may not be him overnight, or maybe never, ever, but you're learning from the best, and you're gonna get better in your business. You're gonna get better at basketball if you hire Michael Jordan to be your coach, of course. So think about, it's not overnight success no matter which path you choose, but it surely is a lot easier to sit in front of your computer for 8 hours in the day, work your pipeline, check your email, and then go comment on your Dream 100 list on social media. Go create 7 videos, 60-second videos that should take you like an hour or less. I just did 9 videos this morning. They're about 33, I think the other one was like 53 seconds on these 2 different scripts. I created 9 different versions of those videos in different places, walking outside, in my training room, sitting right here, wearing this shirt. So you'll see my video with me in this black shirt. You're like, that's the day she recorded it. So 9 videos, it took me less than an hour for sure, easily. But I built up those skills to communicate. I built up the skills of understanding how my teleprompter works. You do your batch work and your hour that it took you to do 7 videos, you pre-schedule that out. Your social media is flowing. You're spending 30 minutes a day on commenting. You're working your pipeline. You're checking your email. Everything is like, you're just sitting in front of your computer, talking, texting, and typing. Whereas the break breads, paying for the meals, paying for the coffees, like this is just, if it's your jam and you love it, great, but it is so time consuming. And the best of the best loan officers, they burn up those phone lines. They do. But that's the 1%ers. The other 1%ers, right? So let's say there's 0.5% is doing the cold calling, the other 0.5% is doing social media, but what's their secret? They picked something, they went all in on it, and they're consistent, and they're pros at it. Well, what about the other 90-something% of us that we're scared of video or scared to cold call? Like, we gotta pick something. We gotta pick one of the 2 roads, or we have to do a hybrid of it. But the bottom line is, no matter what you do, it's gotta be sustainable, which social media is way more sustainable. It's gonna reach way more people, and you're sitting in the comfort of your own home office, like my brick and mortar office that I'm at right now, and I'm not having to go out in the elements, outright it's pouring rain when I'm recording this right now. I would not want to be doing that. Bob Proctor says, in order to create a new reality for yourself, let's just talk about your business as a loan officer. You have to build a new system that makes the old one absolutely obsolete. Like, it doesn't even, there's no going back to it. I will tell you right now that I will never not run Facebook ads. I will never not be using video to lead gen. I will never not always be finding ways to collapse time, to delegate, to hire virtual assistants. I would never create an in-person event and call people individually and hope that they show up in the training room over there. I only have 25 spots. My events, I have hundreds of people online. So, and I do this because I delegated, set up a MasterClass. I'm seeing a lot of, seeing a lot of loan officers that are starting to do exactly what I talk about, what I teach, and they're just coming to me to be even better. So they're running Facebook ads to a landing page. They're collecting an email address. People are opting in, and they're doing a 1 hour or half-hour minute masterclass on whatever their niche is. They understand the importance of niches. They understand the importance of technology, harnessing some technology and showing up consistently on video and collapsing time. So they're understanding this. So if that's your competitor and you're not all up on it and you're just kind of sitting in your car hoping that you're gonna be calling, it's gonna fall flat. Your marketing's gonna be a 1 instead of what I'm gonna help you make it, which is a 5. So I want you to think about which road you're gonna pick, or a hybrid. Hopefully you took notes during this, and book a call with my team, and let's find out what does your roadmap look like? What are you resisting in your business? Is your cold calling working? Or is it something that you're like, well, yeah, the 1%ers do that, but you're not doing it? Then you gotta pick something else, and that social media is gonna be your way. CRMs, email marketing, list building, it's gotta be the way, which I'll do another training about list building on another day. But for right now, like, cold calling, social media, or hybrid, choice is yours. But no matter what, you gotta take action and you gotta follow through. Don't just dabble, you gotta be a doer and go all in. Thanks, see you on the next training. Don't forget to follow, like, subscribe, book a call with my team, and I hope you enjoyed this today.